Alaska. The name alone brings to mind images of wild frontiers, icy peaks, and endless wilderness. But the story of America's largest and most remote state is far more fascinating than most people realize. Alaska is massive. It's over twice the size of Texas, covering more area than the next 3 largest U.S. states combined. But despite that, it's home to less than 1% of the country's population. That means you can drive for hours without seeing a single town or even a single person. Yet this vast land wasn't always American. For thousands of years, it was home to indigenous peoples like the Inupiat, Yupik, Aleut, Tlingit, and others, cultures adapted to some of the harshest environments on Earth. These communities developed complex societies, navigated the frozen seas in handcrafted boats, and built trade routes that stretched across the Arctic and beyond. Then came the Russians. In the 18th century, explorers arrived from across the Bering Sea and claimed Alaska for the Russian Empire. They hunted sea otters for their valuable pelts and established Orthodox missions along the coast. But Russia struggled to maintain the colony, and in 1867, it sold Alaska to the United States for just $7.2 million, about 2 cents an acre. At the time, many Americans mocked the purchase, calling it Seward's folly. But that deal turned out to be one of the best in U.S. history. Alaska's true value became clear over the following decades. Gold was discovered in the late 1800s, triggering massive rushes that brought thousands of settlers and fortune seekers to towns like Nome and Fairbanks. But gold was just the beginning. Alaska is rich in oil, natural gas, timber, and seafood. The Trans-Alaska Pipeline, completed in the 1970s, transformed the state's economy and its politics. Still, life in Alaska isn't easy. Winters can be brutal, especially in the far north, where the sun disappears for months at a time. Temperatures can drop to -60 degrees Fahrenheit, and some communities can only be reached by bush plane or boat. In many places, the internet is slow, groceries are expensive, and bears aren't something you see at the zoo. They're something you prepare for when you leave your house. But for the people who live here, Alaska offers something few other places can: a deep connection to nature, a slower pace of life, and space. Lots of it. Today, over 700,000 people call Alaska home. The largest city is Anchorage, followed by Fairbanks and the capital, Juneau, a city you can't even reach by road. Much of the state remains wild, with over half its land protected as parks, reserves, or wilderness areas. Denali, North America's tallest peak, rises more than 20,000 feet into the sky, and glaciers still carve their way through remote mountain valleys. Culturally, Alaska is a blend of native traditions, Russian legacy, and American frontier spirit. Subsistence hunting and fishing remain vital for many rural communities. Festivals like the Iditarod Trail Sled Dog Race celebrate the resilience of life in the north. And tourism is a major draw. Cruise ships bring visitors eager to see whales, fjords, and the northern lights. But Alaska also faces challenges. Climate change is warming the Arctic faster than anywhere else on Earth, threatening ecosystems, eroding coastlines, and affecting ways of life that have existed for centuries. There are economic struggles too. Many towns rely heavily on oil revenues and government support. Still, Alaska endures. It's a land of extremes, of dark winters and endless summer light, of isolation and deep community ties. It may feel like a world apart, but it's a vital part of the United States, rich with history, resources, and stories that few people know. So the next time you look at a map and see that massive landmass tucked into the corner, remember, Alaska isn't just big, it's unforgettable. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and comment what you think of Alaska.